Mr. President. Earlier today, we heard from the French president, addressed a joint session of Congress. And he reminded us that the French and American people have always fought side by side to defend our common values. France was our original ally during the American Revolution. Americans fought and died in France during World War I and during World War II. Our alliances have spanned centuries because of diplomats, Mr. President, who have cultivated the close relationship that the countries continue with today. And it's a shame that we didn't have a Secretary of State of the United States who could have helped us welcome the French president during his visit here. We have a nominee, eminently qualified, Mike Pompeo, and Republicans are ready to confirm him right now. We were ready to confirm him last week. We're ready for him to get to work maintaining and strengthening relationships around the world. You know, Mr. President, under previous administrations, we could have brought that nomination to the floor of the Senate without needing to waste all of the time and the delays by the Democrats, the time of a cloture vote. That's how we used to treat important national security positions like the Secretary of State, but no more, apparently. Look, that's happened even when senators disagreed with the foreign policies of the administration. Consider Secretary of State Clinton, Secretary of State John Kerry. Like, Republicans and Democrats agreed that the president deserved to have the team that he wanted, the people he wanted on the ground helping with him. We all agreed some of these positions were very important to the national security, so important that in a bipartisan way we felt that playing political games with them was just wrong. Well, apparently that has changed now that Donald Trump has been elected President of the United States in the eyes of the Democrats. Because when Barack Obama became president in 2009, Republicans didn't obstruct his nomination of Hillary Clinton to be Secretary of State. No, she was confirmed by a vote of 94-2. Then when President Obama nominated John Kerry for the job in 2013, Republicans didn't slow down or block that choice either. He was confirmed by a vote of 94-3. Republicans had serious concerns about President Obama's foreign policy ideas, his strategies, his approach. But we confirmed the people that he wanted as his Secretary of State. We did not obstruct these nominations. We didn't try to tarnish the reputations of the people that he picked for these important jobs. Not at all. Now, I think the Senate does have an obligation to carefully evaluate a president's nominees. When those nominees are qualified and capable, then the president has every right to have his team and have his team in place quickly. That was a standard Republicans applied to these Democrat nominees for Secretary of State under a Democrat president. So what happened since then? Why has all this changed since then? Well, we now have a Republican president and we have a Republican nominee to be Secretary of State. Seems that Senate Democrats have tossed out of the way things that they have always been done before. No, we don't want to do it that way anymore. The only interest seems to be obstruction, obstructing, delaying, resisting anything that Republicans under President Trump are trying to do, anything he's trying to do in terms of getting his team in place, a team he needs. How does someone justify a vote for these two people to be Secretary of State? The Democrats, the Republicans have voted for these two, and then turn around and not vote for Mike Pompeo. How can you justify that? I certainly couldn't. When Mike Pompeo was nominated to be the director of the Central Intelligence Agency, 15 senators from the other side of the aisle were willing to set aside partisanship. They knew he was qualified for the job, first in his class at West Point, Harvard Law Review, his activities as a member of Congress. Everything he's done as CIA director has shown that those 15 senators made the right call to support him over a year ago. They made the right call to join Republicans and to respect the traditions of the Senate, to put qualified people on the job, even if you may not agree completely with their philosophy on political issues. No reason other than pure partisan politics that any of these Democrats would vote against Mike Pompeo now. He's eminently qualified. Look, he showed at his confirmation hearing, 5 hours that he went through questioning, that he's got the intelligence, he's got the integrity, and he's got the experience to serve as our nation's Secretary of State. Turn to the newspapers, Mr. President. You have the Washington Post coming out saying, confirm Mike Pompeo. You have USA Today coming out saying, confirm Mike Pompeo. We even have the New York Daily News, the hometown newspaper of the Democrat leader of the Senate, coming out saying, confirm Mike Pompeo. Democrats in the Senate don't seem to care, Mr. President. Doesn't seem like they're interested in doing the right thing. They're interested in obstructing and continuing the history of the deliberate delays that we've seen with them through this administration. You know, Mr. President, they've been doing it since the very first day of the Trump administration. At this rate, it would take more than 9 years, Mr. President, to confirm all of President Trump's nominees for important jobs. Why? Well, Democrats can't offer a single good reason. The Senate has been forced to waste huge amounts of time to confirm nominees who aren't even controversial at all. Senate Democrats would try to block the president from filling important national security jobs. They are putting America's security in danger. We all know that the world is a dangerous place, getting more dangerous every day. Our adversaries are opportunistic. Our adversaries are aggressive. Our allies are eager to work with the United States. That's what the president of France told us today. Have Democrats already forgotten the atrocities that we saw in Syria a few weeks ago? It was France and Great Britain that joined the United States in launching airstrikes against Bashar Assad's chemical weapons facilities. We need to be able to maintain the relationships that allow this kind of action to occur. We need people on the job who can both encourage our allies and deter our enemies. Senate Democrats have to decide. They have to decide what's more important to them, protecting America's national security or appeasing the extreme liberal far left wing of their party. Now, I understand if there are senators who have principled reason for objecting to this nominee or any nominee, they can vote no. But to continue to hold up the process, as they have done for a year and a half, slowing down the process. I think if a senator is against a nominee, come to the floor, state the objection, cite the evidence, vote no. But that's not what many Democrats here are doing with their obstruction of one nominee after another. It's not what they've done with their obstructions of hundreds of nominees. For them, it doesn't seem, to me at least, to be a principled stand. It seems to be a reckless political stunt. Now, I listened to my colleagues on the Foreign Relations Committee the other evening when we voted on this nomination. I listened to Democrats speak on the floor and speak to the press. Mr. President, frankly, I have not heard a single good reason to delay the Senate's consideration of Mike Pompeo to be Secretary of State. Democrats need to stop the games, stop the delays, and allow us to move immediately to vote on his nomination and get President Trump's Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, on the job. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.